As soon as Boris showed up, I was like, okay, now it's gonna get good.
I'll be back.
So, Boris, you've just watched the 2013 Hindi language zombie comedy movie, Go Goa Gone. I know this is your first experience with a movie out of India. Let's just get right into it. What did you think?
Boris liked it.
I had a feeling that Boris might like it. For people who are unaware, again, this is a 2013 zombie comedy. In fact, it's the very first zombie movie ever released in India, called Go Goa Gone. It's about these stoner slackers who end up going to a vacation spot called Goa in India, and on this private island, zombies break out and wacky hijinks ensue, and that's basically the movie. This wasn't one that I picked where there's necessarily a lot of thematic meat to talk about, but that's okay because that's not what this movie is about.
I will admit, in the beginning, I wasn't sure what to think about it because, like you said, it was like, okay, this is just, I've seen this before. But I started to pick up all the tropes they were making fun of, and then I realized almost the entire movie is like that.
Oh, totally.
It was like the airplane of zombie movies.
Let's fight them. I'll take the hot one. You take the pissed off one. You go for the fat one.
यार मुझे क्यों हमेशा fat one? I want the hot one.
Shut up, bunny. Date पे ले जा रहे हैं इनको.
The whole movie is a complete farce in a good way. They're poking fun at, lovingly, tons and tons of really commonplace tropes, and in a really fun way. Like, in a lot of ways, this is a movie that we've seen before. If you've seen Shaun of the Dead and some stuff like that, people have seen this movie before.
बोरी जी, वो साइन समझ में नहीं आ रहे. 2 words.
At the same time, you perhaps haven't seen this movie before, in no small part because it's filtered through the lens of it being a movie out of India, a Hindi movie. And actually a Hindi and English language movie, because it goes back and forth between the two.
But it was interesting because at one point I was tempted to turn off the subtitles because I could pretty much follow like what was going on.
Who are you? What is your name?
Yeah, I think the only reason I didn't, and then I'm glad I didn't, was because I would miss the little jokes. The little things would have went over my head.
There are actually a lot of jokes that rely on the subtitles. There's a bit about 2/3 of the way through the movie where the group has met up with Boris, the Russian but not really Russian mafia guy, which we'll get to in a couple of minutes. And the group is about to split up, and he's instructing them like, you got to go over there. So we see over there.
See that way. Samundar that way.
But I like the idea of like playing with the idea that we're hearing C and C. And there's a gag at one point when they're talking to some partiers at this rave, and they're like, "Oh, what's your name?" "Oh, Hardik." Hard what?
I'm Hardik.
Hard what?
Dick.
Really?
Always.
I even liked how it started out, how they're sitting on the couch and they're watching that Indian version of Thriller, which I've seen many times prior to this movie.
Yes.
And how that was foreshadowing. I really enjoyed all those jokes because they did it so well by poking fun at American movies, like American zombie movies and American stoner movies. And that's what I think I found most fun, was to watch it from the point of view of an American.
Oh, hi. लगता है मैंने आपको पहले कहीं देखा है. Are you from Mumbai?
Not interested.
Oh, hi.
I mean, the main reason why I chose this movie is simply because I think it's just just a lot of good, silly fun, and I think it's a kind of silly fun that I thought you specifically would enjoy.
आज से no more दारू, no more drugs. आज मेरी नई जिंदगी की शुरुआत है. तुम्हारे लिए सरप्राइज लाया हूँ.
I don't like surprises.
I also think, though, for other people who are joining us who hopefully have been able to track this down, many people, like, the only impression they have of Indian cinema are the wacky clips that you watch on YouTube of insane physics and the ridiculous stunts and stuff like that. And this movie is not that. The trailer makes it seem like it might be, but it's not.
Yeah, I was actually glad that it wasn't, because that's what I was expecting. It was well done. It was all the tropes and silliness that would be in an American comedy, like a summer comedy.
I mean, I really like the main characters, especially the trio of Hardik, Love, and Luna. Like, Luna is terrific. She plays the sort of no-nonsense woman. The boys are all silly around her.
Maybe you know we.
Just go.
Okay. You sure?
Just go.
I think the only time it goes over the top is with Nikolai, Boris's sidekick. Nikolai gets bit by a zombie. You know, Boris leave him on the side of the road, and it's this, like, you know, silly, you know, tear-jerk moment. And of course, Nikolai comes back at the end as, like, the boss zombie.
Which was great, because you expect it to be the final boss scene kind of thing, and then he's going to be upset about having to kill him, and I'm glad they just were like, no, we're just going to throw him a rocket launcher and blow him into smithereens, which was cool. Yeah. I also enjoyed Bunny as the comic relief. There was the moment where he talks about he's the comic relief, and once all the jokes are gone, he's going to die, and that was pretty cool too. I liked how they handled all that.
तुम दोनों हीरो टाइप के हो, लूना हीरोइन। जब तक मेरी कॉमेडी चल रही है तब तक ठीक है।
A bunch of the movie seems to kind of almost somewhat glorify, like, right, the drug culture kind of thing. But at the same time, the zombie outbreak is caused by these drugs. But then in the end, the zombie outbreak is also, at least temporarily, stopped by drugs.
It was like a weird anti-drug movie.
One more, it's working.
So speaking of Boris, he's come up a couple of times, and of course you had your Boris cameo early on.
Boris.
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 As soon as Boris showed up, I was like, okay, now it's going to get good.
I loved how hammy the character was, the macho action movie hero, and yet also, like, winking at the audience and sort of making fun of those kind of characters, especially, and this is one of my favorite bits in the whole movie, the reveal, of course, that he isn't actually Russian. But once that reveal happens and you realize that the guy's actually kind of a goof, that made him a lot more fun for the rest of the movie.
Are you really Russian?
What?
You look a little desi. Are you really Russian?
हाँ दिल्ली से हूँ भैंचोद करना पड़ा.
You know, when it comes to talking about films and talking about movies, I like there to be movies that have some sort of meat, and this doesn't necessarily have that, but it's good fun. I will say that it was successful enough so that, get this, a sequel is coming next year. Or by next year.
I saw that online, that they're making a sequel, which is cool. I mean, because I'll watch it. I'd like to see where they go with it.
That one gag that I really, really liked, when they realize, right, they're trying to figure out what these creatures are, because they've not been exposed to zombies. What could they be? Could they be vampires, this, that, or the other thing? And when finally zombies come up, they're like globalization.
I know what they are. They're zombies.
Zombies कहाँ से आ गए?
Globalization. ये फिरंगियों ने वाट लगा दी है.
Because it really did feel like there was a lot of winks and nods to outside India audiences.
Yeah, it feels like a late 90s MTV movie where they're just poking, you know, like Scary Movie, and the way they would poke fun of those movies. That's exactly what it feels like, but in a fun way.
Yeah, there definitely wasn't mockery. It was being done with love and fandom. I found the main characters likable across the board. You know, Hardik, Love, Luna, Bunny, and Boris. I liked all of them. Like Hardik's one night stand fling, who becomes a zombie in the boat, and I just loved the couple of times he goes and like tries to have a talk with her.
Hi, baby. Remember me from last night?
हार्दिक प्यार से हाँ.
Come inside. Take a dip with me. Awesome.
Yeah, I liked the fact with Luna that, despite the fact that the actress is an incredibly attractive woman, they did not play that up. She wasn't played as a bimbo or anything like that. I mean, her introduction scene, she was in a bikini, but other than that, it was much more about being like, all right, guys, all right, leave it alone.
Yeah, I mean, her introduction scene, they're at the pool, and she's the one that finds his shorts. So yeah, there's like a reason for the whole... She was just part of the team in this, which was cool.
I just love how it ends, because you get that awesome comic book shot of the five of them standing like and there's just chaos in Goa because they could see like, oh, the zombies clearly got ashore, and you're just like, all right, shit's on. Anyone who's interested in checking out this movie after our discussion, you can watch it for free on Eros Now, which is an Indian streaming service. I believe they do have a free trial, so you can check it out on the free trial. It's also available for rent on Apple TV, on Google Play, on Amazon Prime as well, if you're interested in checking this out. If what we've talked about in this video makes it sound like this might be appealing to you, I'm pretty confident saying yes, it will be.
It was a good time.
So I guess that means it's time.
It's time for Eric to watch a movie.
I always have my list, and there are some in here I'm tempted to do, but I watched something recently. Ever since I watched it, I've been thinking I want Eric to watch this because I think he'll like it, and I want to talk to you about it. Eric, you will be watching for the first time the 2019 sci-fi movie, The Vast of Night.
Number, please.
Hello? Is that Ray?
Everett, it's Faye. The sound came through the board and interrupted your radio show.
What sound?
They've come here before. They've liked this place.
All right, I will get this on my list. This is going to be our most recent movie. Obviously, you folks can do all the normal thing, like button and mash this and mash that. But more importantly, we want to hear your thoughts in the comments below. We want to hear your thoughts about this movie, if you've seen it, about Indian cinema. If you watch any Indian cinema, give us some recommendations. We also want to hear about zombie comedies. Give us some recommendations or say what you might like, and yada, 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 and back and forth, blah, blah, blah.
I am Tig, that is Eric, and thanks for hanging out at the movie club.